Hi everyone. So we have created a dashboard that contains the queuing process data, and that was recorded and that was visualized in this dashboard. So before we proceed to ahead with the dashboard, I would like to show you the data that was used for the reports that we generated. So we had two data sets that had come in. One was the alarm data set and one was the delay data set. So in the alarm data set, we had a total of five features, and also for the delay data set, we had a total of eight features that had come in. So we'll start with the alarm data. So we had event stamp. So basically, it recorded the timestamp for the data that was logged, and the alarm state. So the type of alarm activated. So for this data set, we just have one type of alarm activated. Uh, and for the tag name, basically it was a manual input. It is basically a short abbreviation of the uh, description, and also the area basically contains the type of alarm generated and the press number. So the tag name consists of all these details in just one particular column. But for the sake of visual representation, we're just going to use these four features. That is event stamp, alarm state, description, and area. Now coming to the delay data, we have eight features. So the first feature is the press number, which is the data that is recorded for the particular press number, and the start time and the end time records the timestamp for that particular event, when it started and when it ended. And stop category basically has the reason for the stoppage, and phenomenon is a short note a bit on the particular description. Description A and B is a manual input that was uh, uh, given in basically records what type of stoppage it was in detail. And then the category tag is the stop category type of stop category that occurred over there. So for this particular data set, we'll be using all the data except for the description A and B because it was manually inputted, not a standardized data. So now let's look at the dashboard that was created. So as you can see, this is basically the home page. It just for now we have just put an introduction to the entire dashboard on this particular page. Now let's go to the first data. That is the alarm report. Basically has the uh, alarm data set that was recorded in this. So as you can see, we have inputs over here, and based on these inputs, we are visualizing the features present in them. So now let's start with uh, date input. So basically we are inputting the start and end date. So basically it records, it'll bring in the records from that particular date range. So we also select the press number. For example, I selected 397398, and then we have the alarm state, which in our current data set we have just one alarm state. So I press submit. We'll wait for the data to be visualized from the server, and just supposed to load. Okay, it's loaded. So as you can see, we have our first plot over here, and then there's a second plot. So basically, this particular report consists of two plots for now. Uh, so what we have done is basically we have based on the alarm type, we have recorded the number of alarms that occurred per day. Like based on this date input for that particular date range, we have recorded the number of records. So if you can hover over the data point, it'll explain the type of alarm, the number of records, and when that particular date occurred. Subsequently, you can also filter out that particular data set from the particular plot just by clicking on the legends over here, and that is pretty much standard for all the plots that we have created for this dashboard. And also we have a feature where we can just download the plot and add it to your presentations, etc. Also, yes, you can just drag and zoom in or just zoom out. And suppose the labels are not very clear, we can have the X and Y tags to appear. So moving to the next data set, this is basically the description tool of the alarm. So here what we have done is using that description tool, using the description data, which you have seen over here, the reason for the alarm activation, we have recorded that for per on the date range basis. So the higher the position of the bubble chart, higher the position of the bubble in the bubble chart, and the bigger the bubble, the higher the record number of records is for that particular date. So if you hover over this particular bubble, we can see the description of the particular bubble that has been recorded on the tag for the date and the number of records. If you can compare this particular bubble with the date that was recorded over here, it'll give a proper perspective of how many alarms are activated and what type of alarm was activated, whether it was CA or MA for that particular record. And of course, you can select the data, zoom in, and maybe filter out the data, filter out the phenomenon that you don't need to see, etc. So yeah, that was about the alarm report. Now let's move to the downtime report. So let's have a short recap on the data set that we use for delay report over here. We had press number, start time, and end time, stop category, which I already explained, and the phenomenon, and also the category tag. Now for this particular data set, we use the date time, press number, and as well as the category tag as an input. Uh, so because the category tag had the record of type of stoppage that was seen in the particular uh, records in the data set. So let's look at the dashboard quickly. So we have the date range as an input. We click 1 to 22, press number, and then we select the category tag. So basically we have 6 types of category tag in this record. So let's click on engineering, tool, and unknown. So let's see how the records were recorded for that particular selection. So as you can see, we have 4 plots over here. So you have the average and maximum downtime comparison. You have the downtime over category, stop category tool, and downtime phenomenon. So then I'll go through each one of them. So start with the average and maximum downtime comparison. So based on the date selection that I've given over here, you can see that for that particular date range, it's calculating maximum downtime and average downtime for that particular press number based on these category tag selections. So if you look at this, if you just zoom in, you'll have a better view of the data. So you can compare daily how the trend has been of the downtime, and accordingly you can optimize that process. So as you can see, 103 is a maximum. For example, 103 is a maximum downtime that was recorded for 3/4/21, and 32 was the average downtime that was seen for that particular day. And of course, if you just want to filter out the average and focus on the maximum downtime, you can do that just by clicking the uh, labels as well. And the opposite can also be done. Now let's move to the downtime over category. So basically, this shows the distribution of the selection that we have done. For that particular press number, we can see there is 23% engineering unknown, and then unknown of 65%, 11% tool change that occurred for that particular uh, press number selection. So it contributed in these are the figures that contributed in the downtime that can be seen for that particular category tag. Now moving to the stop category tool. So basically, stop category tool consists of the stop category that was recorded, the reason for the press stoppage, and that has been visualized uh, based on the filters that we provided here, the date range, press number, and the category tag. So you can have two views. One is uh, the count based on this particular type of stop categories, the count, or the percentage wise selection as well. So based on the date range that we have given, we can have the count or the percentage wise view of the stop category that has occurred for these different stop categories. So moving to the next plot, the fourth plot, that is the downtime phenomenon tool. So basically, this records the description of the stop category. So as you can see, a lot of the phenomenon was recorded, and we thought it was better to show it as a bubble plot, and because it's one way to represent it neatly using a bubble plot, gives a better perspective of how the data is. So now if I hover over the bubble plot, we can look at this particular bubble plot. Uh, the the bubble plot is 9. That is the number of records that are recorded was 9, and of the date for which it was recorded was 6th. That is also shown, and the phenomenon is unknown. So phenomenon unknown, 9 records occurred on that particular day, and also you can filter out that particular data and also observe the other data observation. So apart from this, we can add multiple other features. Uh, for suppose if you want to compare press number to press number, we can also uh, add separate filter for every plot, and then you can check how the uh, data is varying from a press number to another press number. These are some additional features that can be also added. For example, there's an alert tool also that can be added in addition to this dashboard. Uh, so basically, there are multiple things that can be added to the data set as per based on the data requirement that you have and the data kind of visualization we are going for.